vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
93.7 The Ticket veteran and Bill Callahan fan club president, Jake Bakovic.
I love Billy.
Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Strick and Bach. Hold up.
Any contact with Nick since?
No. Oh, he's called.
You just didn't take the call?
Not going to. We're done.
And
he shows you who he is.
There you go. That's opening it up with the story of the day, the story that we'll talk to plenty about. Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher going at one another. It's really made a great day and a lot more entertaining here for us college football fans. Strick, have you been able to follow this basically Saban versus the world? It seems like he's taking on the NIL halves, I suppose, and Jimbo Fisher, Deion Sanders is jumping in on there. It's been an entertaining whirlwind. Have you been able to keep up with it a little bit?
A little bit. I definitely tapped in on it. I know that how Deion feels about it and how it's kind of just pushing probably smaller HBC that he's starting to kind of get a little bit of traction on and getting a little bit exposure to NFL GMs. I mean, it's not like HBCUs or smaller colleges don't ever get drafted. I mean, you can look at some of the Hall of Famers and know. So it's not that. He's just kind of raising, I guess, a little bit more awareness to that. And when you're getting into NIL, they're already short on facilities. They're already short on different areas. And he feels that really puts them outside looking in with opportunities for, some kids that he'll be able to land. I mean, he's been able to land some good ones. I think he's trying to expand it outside of Jackson State onto other programs throughout the MEAC and the SWAC and stuff like that. So, so I actually understand both sides of the conversation. I think Nick Saban. I'm going to give a different perspective on it. I don't think Nick Saban is as upset about it as he's trying to make sure that the core goal is really parity, right? He knows he's probably coming down to a waning. He's had great success. He's had success in whatever platform you basically put him in, whatever silo you've tried to put him in and limit him. Him and his staffs, he's sent guys, he's sent coaches all across the country, and he's had continuous success. So I'm not going to say that it's from a standpoint of worry for him. I think he's really just trying to figure out a way to not allow the little guys to get left behind. And so I could be wrong. It could be some animus in it, but I don't think so, man. I really do. I just think that he's looking at it. He's not a regular checkers or chess player. He plays 5D chess, I think, in the way that he handles recruiting and the way that he handles business on campus, dealing with boosters and the whole nine. I think he's looking at it with a broad scope and a broad brush, and he's trying to figure out a way to make sure that there is his core goal of parity that is capable, not to say that it will be, but that it's possible. And so that's kind of the way I see it. And there's going to be some arguments, on both sides of that spectrum. And I see all of it. I understand it.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, it's kind of interesting because it's basically Saban saying what we've all been saying about NIL and using the examples that are obvious, right? I mean, Jackson State was a big one when it was announced on signing day, and we all kind of focused our attention on that. Obviously the Miami basketball team that he mentioned, and then Texas A&M. I mean, there's no not much question there. I mean, Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher, they are held in high regard in college football, but not number one in the class. Number one class without some help going on. And again, to me, I don't have too much of a problem with these schools like Texas A&M because I think Nebraska's kind of in that category too, where it's like these schools have prepared and gone out of their way to get this collective thing going for the Wild Wild West, which was upon us. And finally, it's here. And some of these schools are benefiting more than others. Well, I think it's partially based on your preparedness. But I also agree with you with Saban. I think that he's kind of moved past talking about everything in his own self-interest because he knows Alabama's good. There's, he doesn't have to be the one to stand up and fight on behalf of the side that he's taken. But he just feels like he's a big enough name in college football that he is. And then, of course, Jimbo fired back, calling him a czar and thinking he's God and all this stuff. So it's certainly become very interesting. And we'll follow along because Saban's supposed to have a radio appearance too. So we'll kind of see how that breaks down next. Also, some other storylines I wanted to get to today in this first segment. Sam Cook, longtime Baltimore Ravens punter, and of course, originally a Nebraska punter, calling it a 16-year career. Might have seen this coming. The Ravens took a punter, I believe 4th or 5th round out of Kansas State or whatever in the draft. And so that's kind of what I was thinking is, all right, well, what does that mean for Sam Cook? Could I see him in a different uniform? And that's not the case. He's retiring. He announced today. And that leaves Justin Tucker as the only player on that Ravens Super Bowl team that's left. But as far as Sam Cook goes, played, I believe, at Seward before getting to Nebraska. So he's a great kind of like small town Nebraska story that's just done it all and had a great career. You could kind of remember most of his highlights are punts. So I don't know how excited some people get for those. I love punts. He specifically was reading an article today about how he had 8 punts in the Alamo Bowl. And all of them were like a 50-yard average. I mean, all of them were just boomers. So one of the best punters in Nebraska history. So I just thought it was worth noting his 16-year career kind of coming to an end there.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I think that's phenomenal, especially when you're talking about the way the salary cap and the movement that happens from year to year. When you look at the business aspect of the NFL on salaries and continuous negotiations and being able to cut people in order to make room and space. To be in one place that long, that's awesome, bro. I mean, that's just, 256 games as a Ravens player. That's a tremendous career that he's had, and he's been able to spend in the DC and Baltimore area on one team. And this ultimately came down to a business decision, right? The Ravens basically, with this retirement of Sam, freed up $2.1 million, and it gives them the opportunity that can be used to sign a receiver or pass rusher to fill some gaps or some needs that they may have there. Right now, Baltimore, having a punter of his stature, has the NFL's 3rd highest cap figure at $3.175 million and the 28th highest. So when you look at it from a whole, it gives the Ravens $7 million of cap room to be able to do some stuff with. So great career, great honor. We reverence him for his time that he spent and what he was able to do in a Husker uniform and also in NFL. And kudos to Sam.
Yeah, very cool story, and just a mainstay in a league where there's so much movement, and especially for Nebraska football. He kind of went in at a time where there was Nebraska football players being drafted left and right, and so maybe the specialists kind of get lost. But there were a lot of them in the league. From Kyle Larson, who was punting before him, he had to wait his time at Nebraska. If you can imagine an NFL punter for 16 years not being able to punt the first 2 years he's on campus. because there's another NFL punter in Kyle Larson ahead of him. And just back in those days, Nebraska, it's kind of funny with the special teams problems that have arisen of late. I know Tom Stevens was trying to convince DP a few years ago. This used to be kicker U. This is like kicker U, punter U.
Right.
This is a great university for that. And just watching special teams as of late, you're like, I just can't even imagine that couldn't happen. But I think that's an underrated aspect as to why Nebraska had a great run as long as they did. And of course, there were times when missed kicks hurt them, and you think about the 93 championship or the 93 championship season. They didn't always have stellar kickers, but there for a long while, it was like Nebraska fans almost got cozy and not knowing what you always get the jokes on Twitter, hashtag college kickers. Nebraska fans didn't have to deal with that for a long time. And when you can rely on, not having shanks or surprising short fields and, hitting 35 or 40-yard field goals, could make a heck of a difference. And I think Nebraska fans certainly have learned that as of late.
And listen, though, another thing to point out is that Sam wasn't just, a punter. He was actually an athlete. You know what I mean? Like he had skills beyond just what he was able to shine in, and that's punting, right? I think something that I looked when I was looking at Sam is that he has he has probably an unusual major badge of honor for the Ravens. He is the all-time leader in passer rating.
Nice.
How has that happened, right? Because, listen, when you have an athlete and you have somebody that has capabilities that you can do so many things in the special teams. Look at how bad and how much trouble think if we had a Sam Koch, you know what I mean? Like, if he was on our special teams in the last just 5 years, how much of a difference that he could have made, right? But with that record, I mean, he has completed 7 of 8 passes on fake punts for 82 yards. So that's a rating of 109.4. So therefore, he holds the record.
Defenses aren't ready for his passes.
Exactly, right? And then he had a situation against the Raiders in 2012 where there was a fake punt, and he showed like tremendous agility on a 7-yard touchdown run that made him look like he was freaking one of their better running backs on the team. So, I mean, listen, you can say a lot about him, man. He's done a lot to help them to win games. He's had a tremendous career with them. And I'm just going to continue to just shout out the love, man. That's so awesome that he's able to do it the way that he did it. And with one team, man, that's so hard these days, bro.
Well,
so
I know
hard.
Too, he was like their third quarterback on the roster, right? Because the NFL teams only carry 2. So on game day, they lost 2 of them. They were going to go to Sam Cook. So luckily, he never had to worry too much about hurting that 7 of 8 completion percentage. But you could see on the passes that he did have, he could kind of sling it. So it's kind of cool to see him, kind of follow out his career and again just be a mainstay in that Baltimore Ravens locker room. And then as far as the ex-Husker thing goes, just for a decade and a half. To kind of represent Nebraska there. So very cool story as he is retiring. He is, by the way, staying on to kind of help mentor the younger guys. So he's not going to be, obviously a player on the team, but they named some role for him or something or other. But
that's dope. That's so dope.
Ravens, yeah.
That's so dope. But then also, let's think about that, right? Think about a career average of over 45 yards.
Yeah.
That means you are booming balls.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my gosh, like that's stuff that when you're especially talking about football, those change of field positions that you're able to put your team in positive field position throughout games, especially when you have over the years had tremendous defenses that the Ravens have had, right? It isn't that the Ravens have had super great quarterbacks. They've always had just management type of quarterbacks, right? They're guys that just basically hand the ball off. They've always had running games. Now, listen, even with
Lamar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh darn, I hate that when that happens, man. My mind gets a little fall. Even with Lamar Jackson, man, they still are one of the top running teams out there, right? And they basically pass out of necessity. It isn't that Lamar can't throw the ball. It's just that they basically work off of field position and making sure that they win those battles, and then they run the ball and they waste the clock and they beat you down and then they hit you with bombs, and then that's kind of been their format. And it's been the same thing, very play action dominated team over the years, and that's how they maintain, success over the years.
Yeah. Off the text line, Brian says Sam played middle linebacker for the South team in the 2001 Shrine Bowl. So there you go. He's an athlete in high school. And Jory says, why can't he come coach our punters? Yeah, that might be helpful too. But I mean, he's developed quite a bond with the Baltimore Ravens. So
much easier. So much easier dealing in the NFL and
with professionals.
It's so much easier. Yeah. I mean, it's egos in anything, but it's so much easier. I understand why, like, some of my friends, they stayed in the professional side of things. They work the guys out, they deal with the guys. It's rapport driven. And then, at the end of the season, you just touch the players every now and then in the off season, especially the younger ones, the rookies or the 2 and 3 year players. And some guys, development coaches or, bench coaches will go and meet up with a couple of players if they're in LA or if they're in Vegas, where there's a lot of players will go and train. If they're in Florida, they come down there as well. They'll just go down there, meet those guys, work them out, and then shoot back home, and it's so much easier than having to hit the grind of recruiting and dealing with all that you sometimes have to deal with. Not that that's a problem. Some people enjoy that, and that's okay, but it's easier definitely dealing on the professional level.
Yeah, it definitely takes a special personality to enjoy recruiting. You hear that from just about any coach. Eventually that kind of wears on you. You might like it for a year or two. But
get you some gray hair, but I don't have a lot of that right now, other than my beard.
Yeah, you're lucky with it. It is interesting, though, and again, congrats on Sam Cook for his wonderful career. But I am, and people make fun of me because I do stand up for kickers and punters, and some people don't like, games, hard fought, blood on the line, and all that stuff coming down to, just the kicker who doesn't even have to run the drills most of the time and all that. And I understand that, but I'm still truly amazed. And maybe it's when I see it live, especially, watching Sam Foltz, who was going to go on to be an NFL punter had he not passed away. But just watching him live boom kicks in practice, just to see it without any pressure on him was just amazing compared to what the average person could do, but even the other punters that were working out. It's just crazy to me to watch somebody be able to launch something that far, regardless, even, you think about the furthest drives with the golf club or, home runs, all that stuff. I'm amazed by kicking. I can't help it. And you gave it a try, right? One time you were okay at kicking, right? Didn't you even kick in high school?
I did. I was a punter in high school for the team. Sometimes whenever there wasn't anyone available, I was a punt returner. I played a lot of different roles.
Yeah. Well, the D1 athlete usually has to.
Yeah, but I did. I punted some, and I could hit a few, but it is some technique involved. I mean, flattening out the foot.
Oh, yeah.
Making sure you lay it down on the foot as opposed to dropping it. You don't want to get, that flip flop. You wanted to have it, kind of spiral out, which makes it go further. And it's a technique to deadening the ball, where then you might want to kick it with a little bit more spiral to have it land. I mean, with a little bit more flip to have it just drop. And, aiming the ball, kicking it to corner. I mean, there's technique involved. It's not just kicking the ball, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And Sam Cook was well known for that too, kind of introducing the different type of kicks into the NFL, just kind of different techniques. So again, just a great career and a great showing from a former Husker there. We're going to take a quick break here on the block here, but we do have Kevin Myers Cork and Bottle waiting on the other side of the glass, ready for Thirsty Thursday. Are you pre-gaming already, Strick?
Thirsty Thursday, baby. I'm about to fill it up.
Might as well. That's going up next year on the block on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle. Millard South Baseball will face the winner of Lincoln East versus Millard West for the Class A State Championship. The championship game will take place on Thursday, May 19th at Tal Anderson Field. Gretna boys soccer defeated Omaha Westside in a lopsided 8-0 victory to win the Class A Boys State Soccer Championship. The win on Tuesday caps off an undefeated season for the Gretna Dragons. The Gretna girls were also able to finish their undefeated season with a win over Lincoln Southeast to win the girls' Class A State Soccer Championship. Jalen Lloyd of Omaha Central was the top qualifier in the Class A boys 100-meter dash and the triple jump at the first day of the Nebraska State Track and Field Tournament. Malachi Coleman of Lincoln East is currently the fastest qualifier in the boys 200-meter dash with a time of 21.8 seconds. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Beatrice Bakery. They ship cakes all over the country. True story. But take a look inside their shop and you'd have no idea. This is a Nebraska product through and through. Not some massive production plant. Local people making delicious cake just for you. So go see them in their new storefront location in downtown Beatrice. Grab some grandma's fruit cake, some chocolate rum cake, or my favorite, the turtle nut cake. And say hi to Rick and the crew. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Hey, it's Nelson. Isn't it a great feeling when a company has your budget in mind instead of trying to squeeze it all out of you? That's why Caterpillar Vapes has been voted a fan favorite among premium e-juice, CBD, and Delta 8 customers year after year. And now they're here in Lincoln. Returning customers are always enjoying weekly deals and perks, and new Caterpillar Vapes customers get 50% off their entire first purchase. A company that cares about their customers. Crazy, right? In a hurry? Try the drive-thru. Caterpillar Vapes, 2601 North 11th Street, and online at caterpillarvapes.com.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff at brokersinsurancenE.com.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop, but you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
Mike Schaefer here for Trek CBD. Springtime is here, and that means you're outside more in nice weather and maybe even having garage parties with neighbors. The drink of this spring and summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs and 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln, and has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Why wait until Friday to start your weekend?
Go ahead, start right now.
You're thirsty now, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to help you stock up.
Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
There's that pop. That's a real cork right there. There it is. Nice. And that's a real beer right there.
When you hear those sounds, you know it's ready for Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer of Meyer's Cork and Bottle here on the block. Strick has got his wine getting ready. We're getting our drinks poured over here from Kevin. We got Nate in the studio. We have Mark in the studio. So we're all excited for Thirsty Thursday as usual. Kevin, how's your week been?
So far, so good. It's, kind of hot. I did take a day off yesterday, which was nice, and hung out with my wife and spent the day outside. Got a little bit too much sun, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's a better problem than the cold, I think, in my mind at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Have you caught up with the Jimbo Fisher, Nick Saban stuff going on through the day?
Peripherally, not. I haven't done a deep dive into it yet, but I don't know. To me, it seems like Saban is used to having the pick of the litter, and now it's gonna be harder to do that.
Yeah.
And so he's protecting his own. Jimbo's like, hey, you guys have had the golden ticket for better part of 2 decades now. Now it's our turn, and we're going to do it whatever way we can deem necessary. And so I kind of see both sides of it. It is kind of unfortunate, though, the way that it's just become. It took a slimy business and made it really slimy, in my opinion. There was a lot of underhanded stuff happening, and I guarantee it's even worse now. So
yeah,
but it is what it is, and I don't blame the athletes at all. It's the institutions, and they're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, and I think they will eventually. We just kind of got to get through the Wild West portion of it, and at least for now, the kids are getting their hands on some money. Let's get into what we're drinking today, because there's a lot of problems in the world. All you have to do though is drink a little bit, and you kind of forget about them for a little bit.
That's
all
it.
right.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I like your outlook on life. I mean, you should come be a partner at Meyer's Cork and Bottle and just tell people that as they walk through the door.
Hopefully not too many angry people.
Spokesman Bach. Yeah. So what we are tasting first is a new beer from Cross Strain Brewing up in Papillion in good old Nebraska, local brewery here, and it's called Tippy Cup. And the label literally looks like a red Solo cup. And it's meant to be a low-cal, low ABV beer. And it's got the Husker red on there. And we always say you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning. And if you're going to do that, then you better pace yourself. Better way to pace yourself than with a 3.8% lager locally produced here in Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. You can taste it, too. It tastes light. I mean, these are one of those beers if you are trying to drink all day, which I don't advocate for that. Maybe sometimes.
Well,
this is probably a good beer to do it. Yeah, this is a good beer to do it with.
Say you're going camping. Say you're going tubing down the Niobrara. Say you're tailgating. Say, there's occasions where, the party will last a little longer than other occasions. And or if you're like Mark, working on his Farrell's body shaping and whatnot, he's had to abstain from alcohol and would like to reintroduce his liver to some alcohol, but break it in lightly.
Work it in a little bit, yeah.
And not completely wreck the diet and all the hard work all at once. Well, this would be a great way to do it.
Yeah, great tasting. I've played a game called Tippy Cup before. You guys ever played that?
There you go, Bach. That's what it's named.
Yeah, that's what it's from. Yeah.
I don't think I played Tippy Cup, but I played beer pong.
Beer pong, yeah. Yeah, Tippy Cup's somewhat similar. You don't have beer in the cup to begin with, but you just kind of flip it off the edge of the table and try to get it to stand.
Flip cup.
Flip cup,
Tippy cup.
Yeah.
Is that maybe what they call it in the Midwest?
I don't know
what it is.
I guess I've heard.
Back in my day, we played a lot of quarters.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
there's some other type of Tippy Cup. No, let me stop. This is a family show. This is a family.
I just drank. I didn't need a game to do it. I just drank the beer.
Boo.
I'm sorry.
Hey, you can't just drink beer until you've had a great college experience and you did one of those chug, 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 chug with the bong. Oh yeah, you haven't had a good college until you bonged.
Or the keg stand. The keg stands were always fun. I was pretty good at keg stands.
See, I skipped past all that. I went right into the craft beer stuff.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, like as soon as I was 21.
Kevin, we're all looking at Kevin. What did he do?
Silence is golden over there for Kevin.
Let's just say I was a super senior before super senior was even being a thing. It was way before COVID, way before any of that. I got the most out of my college experience. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, this would be a great beer to run through some of those games with. What is this? It's coming a 6-pack or
4-pack?
4-pack.
So,
Okay.
16-ounce cans, 4-pack. Right, locally made right here in Nebraska, and just a good, light, easy drinking, tailgate, camping, fishing type beer.
Oh yeah,
crushable, but it's got more flavor than I would have thought. It's almost a little bready.
Yeah,
which I don't hate in a beer like this.
Yeah, I like that too, and it doesn't just taste like water.
Yeah,
you know, and some of those like a Mick Ultra, like I'm like, is this
it beer?
Actual beer?
Busch
water.
Light. Busch Light's that way too.
And this is actually lighter than a Busch Light, lighter than a Coors Light. It's only 3.8%. So, but it's still a craft beer made here, and that's what we're going for.
So Kevin, is that something that I should, when I get into town, that I should go grab a 4 and take it on the golf course? Is that like one of those type of, or would that mess up my swing and have me shanking the ball all over the place?
I think it's light. Well, it depends on some of us get better with the more beer we drink. Some of us, well, of course, there is a fine line. So you can have some nice smooth swing lube and then have it go the other way. So you got to stay in that zone. This would be a great way to get in the zone and stay in the zone longer and not.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
It's funny though. I back to college. So I met my wife in Dr. Jerry Shapiro's advanced writing a fiction class. And he's since passed away, but he would come buy wine for me on occasion. So I would give him updates, how our kids are doing, how old they are, and my wife had gone back to school and was still teaching full time, getting her first master's degree. She now has a second master's degree. And Jerry Shapiro says, Kevin, I always remember her being very bright and hardworking. You, not so much.
Opposites attract a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. Somebody's got to, be the fun person. Someone's got to be the, the control factor. So.
Hey, don't let them talk down. You've done pretty well for yourself as well. What I did want to ask real quickly, this is, like you said, a lighter beer. What is it? That's kind of a new trend as of the last few years, just watching your calories, right? This would fit in that category.
Yeah. So you've seen it sort of with the low-cal seltzers and sort of the pre-mixed cocktails that are low carb, low cal, and beers sort of always ready to keep their ear on the railroad track, and so they're trying to create some beers that are gonna fit that genre and fit that need and fit that profile and fit that customer. And so this is Cross Strains offering in that market, and I think they did a good job with it.
And going off of that, Kevin, I've actually tried the Bud Light, the zero carb one that they do. I think they call it Bud Light Next. It's not very good. You can't take carbs out of beer. It's just not.
I mean, you can, but
and
it
they
taste
did.
very good.
Yeah, no, they did it successfully, and I felt like it was worth it. But in the end, probably not. Just take the extra carbs.
It's a tough battle. Yeah.
It is a tough battle. Just take the carbs. Take the carbs.
As I've said before, a very wise man once said to me, Kevin, drink twice as good and half as much, and you'll live a happy life.
There you go. Yep.
It's all about balance.
Good statement to live by. Let's jump into our wine here.
This is called Aviary Vineyards. They are located in Napa Valley, and this is their red blend, what they call Birds of Prey. And it is a blend. I believe it's got Cabernet. It has some Syrah. It has some Merlot, little Petite Syrah in there. And basically, when you blend those a bunch of different grape types together, you get a wine that's very, very versatile. So you can have it with barbecue. You can have it with pizza. You can have it all by itself. You can have it with pasta. Just, good everyday type drinking red. These are normally $20. It's our new featured winery of the month. They're on sale for $15, and just velvety smooth. Big fruit, you get the big black cherry elements, a little bit of vanilla, and it's just kind of an easy drinker.
So for you, as someone who has done a lot of tasting I assume when you taste a Cab or a Merlot, you come in with expectations. What are your expectations then for a red blend? Is it kind of just blank palate? Let's see what this is without expectation.
It's hard to do that
Yeah.
because myself included, we have a tendency to taste with our eyes. So you have a preconceived notion of what something's going to taste like or smell like or go with. And so normally when I am looking at a red blend like that, my expectation is this is going to be pretty fruity. It's going to be really soft. It's going to be almost a chuggable style red, and it's probably not going to have a ton of depth. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. But this one to me has a little bit more richer component than some of the red blends. It's not just a fruit bomb. It has a little bit of tannin, a little bit of backbone. And so I was pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, it is very good. It's definitely, at least for me, again, cheap date buck, but it's not a chugger. So it's a more difficult to probably chug this one.
I mean, in generally, you don't really chug wine anyway, but some of them are more chuggable than others. And, it's smooth without being void of character. And it has some structure without being edgy. And so that's kind of, in wine, you really want balance. So the fruit doesn't overpower the tannin doesn't overpower the acidity. All the components of the wine come together and create a product that is balanced. And that's ultimately the goal of any winemaker. And I think they've achieved that pretty well, especially for a $15 wine.
What I like too about this, Kevin, is I like smelling the wines that you bring, and this one has a very nice smell to it. That's the first thing I do whenever you hand out the wine. I always smell it, and this one smells very
That's
good.
what you should do. Well, we've talked about the 5 S's of wine tasting. The first S is see, and the second S is smell. So
I take your advice.
You without your sense of smell, wine wouldn't enjoy the romance that it has, because the human nose can discern, I believe it's like 2 million different aromas. Oh, wow. The human tongue only has 5 taste zones. So you've got sweet, salt, bitter, acid, and what the Japanese call umami, which is sort of a gravy, sort of a meaty broth type taste. Without your nose, wines would kind of all taste the same, and they'd all also taste very simple. But the thing about wine grapes, that come from a species, or at least traditional wine grapes, come from a species called Vitis vinifera. And those grapes possess the greatest number of chemical compounds of any fruit in the world. And that's why wines are made of those things instead of kiwis or apples or oranges or whatever, because they don't possess the same number of chemical compounds. So you don't get the same complexity. And that's where your nose comes into play.
That's interesting. I was kind of figuring, just kind of like Greek mythology or whatever. It's like grapes are kind of a delicacy. That didn't play into it as much as just overall the taste and putting it in together?
Well, throughout history, form always follows function, right? So what is the necessity is the mother of invention. And so how wine was created was they did modern water source. They didn't have filters. They didn't have pumps that could take it from a well to a tap, and a lot of times too, the wines had bacteria in it, or not the wine, excuse me, the water source had bacteria in it, either from just general like animal and human, whatnot.
Yeah.
Or just they didn't know how to boil it or whatever the case may be. So wine essentially was created because the alcohol content killed bacteria, and it was potable for human consumption. And then obviously it became an art form after that.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a great history lesson there. Kind of changes my perspective on it. One more time, what's the wine and how can we get a hold of it?
Yeah, this is called Aviary, and there's a Cabernet. This is called their Birds of Prey, which is the red blend. They also have a Chardonnay, and then a really nice wine called Le Mistral, which is formerly owned by Joseph Phelps, who is one of Napa Valley's top winemakers and vineyard owners. And it was named after the winds that blow through the Rhone Valley in France, in the southeastern part of the country. So they made this wine in its homage to emulate what they do in the Rhone, only do it in Napa Valley. And those are on sale. Those are a little bit higher end. Those are on sale for about $25. But I mean, drinks like a $75 bottle. It's outstanding stuff.
Kevin, we do have 2 questions for you off the text line I'd like to get to. The first one, texter wants to know if Spilker Ales in Cortland is still around.
They are not. However, There was a brewery, I think, in Omaha that bought the Hopalooya recipe.
I think it's Thunderhead out in Kearney. Yeah,
Thunderhead.
yeah.
Okay. So you can get Hopalooya, but Spilker Ales is no longer in business.
This is from, you might remember him, Connor Happer. He'd like you to talk about a process called maceration. if you've ever heard of that.
Hap is listening. Props to you, Happer. We miss you, buddy. Yes, maceration, pressed juice after the grapes are crushed. And so if you were to take the deepest, darkest, purplest red grape and you separate the skin after the crush, the juice that comes out is going to be relatively clear or pink. It's the skins that make the wine red. It also infuses what's called tannin, which is essentially the wine's backbone or skeletal structure. And that's how wine is made. Thanks, Happer.
There we go.
Good
Always good to hear from Happer. Yeah. And also one more chance to let us know what's kind of going on at the store. Have anything coming up?
Well, these several new Winery of the Month features. Aviary is the newest one. Lots of new beers, including Tippy Cup, what we just had.
Oh, yeah.
And so the store is never the same twice. Stop on in and you'll find something new every week.
Yeah, that's a good enough reason anytime. That's never the same twice. Well, here, that'll wrap it up for Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Meyer of Meyer's Cork and Bottle. Coming up next, your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Give us a call right now, 402-464-5685. It's time for Shootout with Strick. Just beat Strick in our game show. You get $15 to check out the campus.
I'd like to check out the campus a little bit. The thing about Oklahoma State, they're the most meh school to me.
What?
I don't like them. I don't dislike them. To be honest, I never really thought about Oklahoma State.
They got a pretty good basketball program from time to time. The football.
See, exactly. That's
always
my
there.
point exactly. About you saying from time to time they got a decent basketball team. From time to time they got a decent football team. And
Bedlam? You don't get excited for Bedlam every year?
Not really.
Not really.
It sounds like you're basically describing NC State, which is the most man team. Is the most man team
You take that back.
ever think
Barry
about.
Sanders is very disappointed in what you're saying.
So
right
is
here. Thurman Thomas.
So is Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett and Russell Wilson.
That's not
Philip
the same
Rivers,
as Barry
QBU.
Sanders. Yeah, it's still not.
And
I
who?
don't know if that's QBU.
Who was the kid? The other. There was a guy.
Russell Wilson was there for a minute.
Drafted recently. Was it Ryan Finley?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
See, that's what I'm saying. QBU.
Yeah, I'm not
No, again, yeah, I'll probably check out the campus. I might walk around a little bit, grab a bite to eat. Probably not on campus though. Actually, I had plenty of campus food in my day. I don't really care to have any more of that, but it'll be fun.
You're gonna go to the
I'm
finest
excited.
cuisine in Stillwater.
The finest cuisine. Would it be a Chili's?
That's likely. I don't
Which would
think
be
it's very big.
supposedly. Carly texted me this too. The hotel that they're staying at, I don't know if it's the same hotel that I'm staying at. I actually have no idea, but is next to a Chili's.
Oh,
so that means that Stillwater has a Chili's, which is huge news. Huge news.
Big Chili's guy.
Love Chili's.
Yeah.
What's better than Chili's?
Applebee's.
I can't even believe you just said that. When it comes to
all of our sponsors,
I don't even
more
know how you
importantly.
would describe a restaurant like that. Applebee's,
Applebee's or
Chili's.
Chili's.
There's another one in there that's
Friendly neighborhood, right? Friendly neighborhood.
Outback.
Sit down
Outback can
spots.
go into that category.
Yeah, but you feel a bit of wild going to Outback.
Is that what it is? The blooming onion.
Yeah. It really
Makes
gets
you feel
makes
feel
you
a
like
little
you're
bit
right in
weird.
Australia.
You do.
No,
Things do get a little weird when you go to Outback. Bach, I'll give it. What's the place with the peanuts?
Oh yeah. Cracker Barrel.
No, not Cracker Barrel. Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas
the only problem with
Roadhouse.
that is Texas,
Similar.
but everything else, yeah, very delicious.
But see, that's what I'm saying. It's that similar. Longhorn Steakhouse, similar.
Yeah. Same thing, Longhorn.
But I don't even know how to describe that restaurant. It's not fast food, but it's not fine dining.
No.
Like, what do you just? I just describe it as Chili's, and people understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
you know what? We all know what
You
kind of
describe-
what comes along with
You
Chili's.
just say Chili's, and then you know, oh, I know the grouping of restaurants.
Did you like
that they're in.
TGIF?
Not really.
They left. They were here for a little bit and they left. So I feel like I didn't get to know TGIF.
I feel kind of bad though, because the reason I don't like TGI Fridays is because back when I lived in Richmond with my parents, they're right next to Red Lobster, and I've got a bone to pick with Red Lobster. Any seafood
Go
restaurant,
ahead. They're not in town anymore. They're not going to sponsor
that
us anymore.
doesn't surprise me. Any seafood restaurant that ships seafood like that, but doesn't have the most quality seafood, like Long John Silver's. I give you credit if you eat a Long John Silver's or a Red Lobster. That is not at the top of my list of places I'm going to.
But it's hard to not.
I don't.
How else
trust
are
it.
you going to get it?
I don't
in the
trust
middle
it.
of Nebraska.
No, see, that's the problem. Is I have not had seafood since I got here. I've gotten the frozen kind that you can get at Hy-Vee or whatever it may be. Is
Yeah.
there a restaurant around here that has good seafood?
I'm not a seafood guy.
Maybe
trying to
Strickwood,
think. Yeah, I mean Strick's on the coast though. He can eat good seafood.
That's the one thing Strick has going for him. Is that? But see, when
For
I was
now,
in
he's moving
Virginia,
in.
it was great too.
It's not
Because
the one thing. He lives
you're
in
close
Florida.
to-
My goodness.
It is true. The weather would be at the top
Yeah.
of the priority list too. When you talk about like in Virginia, that was great. It was you eat seafood, whatever. Because I love seafood.
Yeah.
Fish, crab, lobster, scallops, shrimp, all kinds of seafood.
See, I
Seafood's
like
great.
fish and crabs as well, but as pets, I've had them as pets before, so I can't.
You've
I
had
can't
a
turn
pet,
on them.
Pet fish are awesome. Pet
Yeah.
crab.
Oh yeah, crabs are awesome.
How big was it?
I like the small little fiddler crabs because they're kind of cool. Like if you get a male and a female together, the female will like show off his claw, or the male will. He'll like parade it around like a
Oh.
maestro, and like just turn it all these different ways. That's his-
So he did
that's
that
his
when he had
signal.
one?
Oh yeah, he was always like, check this out. Whoa.
That's awesome.
And you're like,
That's pretty
yes.
cool.
And then when
Pretty
they
sure
eat,
that's
it's kind of
SpongeBob.
weird because they just have a lot of
Just clawed.
Yeah, it's
Have you ever
clawing.
been crab fishing?
No, I'd like to do something
You
like
use
that. That'd be fun.
a chicken neck. A chicken neck, you drop it in the water. I did in Hilton Head. So you drop a chicken neck in the water.
What do you mean
and then
by
the
a
crabs-
chicken neck? A chicken's neck?
Like a chicken. I think that's what they call it. I think it might be, actually. I don't know.
Oh.
It's some form of chicken
that you drop in the water and they like it, and then they claw onto it, and then they nibble at it, and then you scoop it up with a net, and then the winner gets a free T-shirt. I got a free T-shirt last time.
Oh, nice.
But it was garbage because my sister at the time, she was a little bit younger. She got really upset.
At the time, but not now.
She got really upset that she's still my sister, but I think she'd probably handle the situation a little bit more appropriately now. I won the T-shirt because I had the most crabs. I caught like 26 crabs. I was like, I'm a beast. Like, check me out. I win the T-shirt. Showing off the T-shirt to the rest of the boat. She got upset, so my parents bought her a T-shirt.
Oh,
fraudulent!
Yeah,
you didn't win that T-shirt.
You saved your parents some money, I guess.
I guess so. But see, that's the thing. I'm spiteful like that. If I didn't win, I don't want the T-shirt.
Yeah, well, you didn't earn it. You didn't deserve it. See, you don't want one of those trophies if you don't earn them.
Maybe I'll wear it on Monday when I get back.
Yeah,
or
I
think it's Crab or J.
I would throw the crabs back.
No,
Save the crabs.
We
you did this
back.
time.
Yeah, and they had blue chests. It was pretty cool.
I always feel like even if I go into one of those restaurants, just taking one of those lobsters and running, saving one of them.
What are you gonna do with it?
Put them in my bathtub.
You'll die there too.
Yeah, but at least he won't be like burnt to death.
That's fair.
Yeah, in any case, we'll save the lobsters another day. Thanks for jumping in. I think Strick is ready on the other side as we get things going. We'll do a shootout with Strick coming up next, so your chance to win $15 at Buffalo Wings and Rings.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Hot, breezy conditions here for our Thursday. We top out at 95. Southwest winds gusting over 25. We will see a chance of isolated thunderstorms late this afternoon, but especially into this evening. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low 57. Much cooler tomorrow, much more typical for this time of year. We'll top out at 71. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Dave Osted from Osted's Golf. Let us make this your best season yet. Voted a top 100 fitter by Golf Digest, our master fitters have been trained by the same guys that build clubs for PGA pros like Rory, Tiger, DJ, and Jordan. Have old clubs? Trade them in Osted's Value Guide, or have our club specialists get your clubs swinging like new. Go to our website and make your fitting appointment. You're a click away from a better golf game. Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Brown Shoe Fit is gearing up for spring with new inventory on the way. They're stocking up on new spring sandals and athletic shoes daily in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Keen, Merrell, On, and many, many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrax. Spring is the season to be active and busy. Don't let your feet lose their support with old rundown shoes or sandals. Stop by Brown's Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Wedding season is underway. Stop wearing your fading, wrinkling shirts and update your wardrobe today at M Suits Clothiers in Lincoln. M Suits has men's clothing for every occasion, from business to leisure to weddings and formals. And they've been chosen by Lincoln as best of men's clothing for 4 years running. The buying process is quick and easy with personal service that's hard to find. And they're family owned. where you are also treated like a part of the family. M Suits Clothiers, just south of 56th and Pine Lake on Red Rock Lane.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
It is time for a late version of Shootout with Strick here on 93.7 The Ticket on the block. We've been talking a lot of SEC football today, and we'll probably continue to do so after this game show. But first, if you know a little bit about SEC football, go ahead. And Strick's already putting the booze there. But go ahead and give us a call, 402-464-5685, and try to beat Strick in some trivia here. Shootout with Strick, where it's 4 questions, either or, so you don't have to be too smart. You just have to guess. And then 1 open-ended question, which usually isn't too difficult to give you an opportunity to get your money ball 2 points there at the end. Give us a call, 402-464-5685. Strick, it's nice to have you back there. We lost you there for a second.
Man, that's why it's important for Stricky to get back to Lincoln, Nebraska, because y'all it just seems like when it comes down to Thirsty Thursday, there's a conspiracy going on out there. Y'all like to kick Stricky off the Thirsty Thursday combination, and so I'll just Thirsty Thursday myself right over here while I'm about to win this flawless victory.
There you go. It does seem to happen Thirsty Thursday. We try to get like 4 cameras
going.
Y'all
be drinking too much, man. No,
yeah.
Y'all be in there, man.
That too.
Lit.
We don't know what we're doing. We're kind of tipsy, trying to push buttons left and right, but either way.
I'll never forget you spilling on the board, and everybody was you Thirsty Thursday spilled on the board, and everybody thought it was about to tear the whole system out the frame.
Well, we've had some spillage on the board that has corrupted things in the past. Luckily, my spill didn't do any damage, and we got away with it this time at least. But I think is that Corey on the line, Nate? No, we don't have a call yet. It looked like we had a call.
Ooh, it's a forfeit. Those are the best. Listen, when I used to referee and I would do games on Saturdays and stuff, the best games was them ones where they forfeited.
Oh, yeah.
I got paid for nothing. And I love getting the chicken for the people for nothing. Yeah. He's strict for the win.
You can't be afraid of Strick.
No!
I'm sure once we say, okay, it's a forfeit and caller number 3 wins, then we'll get all the calls. But right now, we just need a competitor. 402-464-5685. Be the brave one out of the group. Give us a call and try to beat Strick in some SEC football trivia.
They saw Stricky go 6 for 6 yesterday, and there was a little worry out there.
I know.
I crossed somebody up, and they almost buckled. Their ankles buckled, and they was like, wait, now, I don't know. Stricky's kind of tough out here.
Well, Connor is tough. Connor is our hero here on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Connor, how you doing today? Big SEC fan?
Ooh, nope. We'll see how we do though.
No, yeah. Well, either way, we're glad that we have you aboard. Even if maybe I'll try to convert you to the SEC by the end of this show. If you win $15 off it, it'll help you. It'll help your SEC feelings. But I know there's a strong feeling against that. We'll start with Strick, then we'll get to Connor so he knows what he has to get to. Strick, are you ready to roll?
All righty. Let's go, Connor. Right. Good luck to you, man.
A little bit. All right. We'll go in 3, 2, and 1. Who has won the most SEC championship games since 1992? Florida or Alabama?
Alabama.
Actually, Florida. This is the last SEC team to finish the season unbeaten and unscored on. Auburn or Tennessee?
Tennessee.
That is correct. Which of these SEC schools has not had a quarterback taken number 1 overall in the NFL draft? Texas A&M or Georgia?
Georgia.
It's actually Texas A&M. Texas and this team will join the SEC within the next 3 seasons. Oklahoma or Florida State?
Oklahoma.
That's correct. And who was Alabama's starting quarterback last season?
Bryce Young.
That's right, Bryce Young. So 5 points there for you. That's a pretty solid score. 4 points. 4 points there.
No! See, Nick, it's a conspiracy on Thursday. I know it.
2 at the end. You got Oklahoma. And I think you got Tennessee, but you might have missed one there. So yeah, at least Nate, you got 4 points, Eric. Sorry. We'll give Connor a little bit more of a help. Is that right, Nate?
That's right. Yeah, look out for the people. Strick's first question that he missed was, who has the most SEC championship games since 1992? The answer was Florida. He said Alabama.
I said Florida.
Which of these SEC schools is not a quarterback?
Rewind. I need a replay.
Texas A&M. Georgia had
Matthew Stafford.
That's great.
Dang it, I knew that too. I knew that.
Johnny Manziel not number 1 overall? No, it didn't happen for him. All right, let's go over. You got 4 points, though. Very solid score. Let's jump over to Connor. Connor, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we'll go in 3, 2, and 1. Where's the SEC headquarters? Atlanta or Birmingham?
Atlanta.
It's actually Birmingham. In 70 seasons of the SEC, this is the only team to never win an SEC title. Kentucky or Vanderbilt?
Vanderbilt.
That's correct. Alabama was a founding member of the SEC. True or false?
True.
That is correct. Georgia Tech would leave the SEC in 1963 and land in this conference in 1983. Big East or ACC?
ACC.
That is correct. And who was Georgia's starting quarterback last season for the win?
Stetson Bennett.
It was Stetson Bennett. 5 points for Connor. Hats off to Nate for making sure for checking my score there. And we don't even need that buzzer. Connor gets away with $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings and strong booze from Eric Strickland. Connor, we obviously want to give you your shout outs, but first we give you the opportunity. You can talk trash to Strick or you can take the high road.
I'll take the high road. I feel a little bit lucky today.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you answered your question well, but you deserve your shout out.
Boom shakalaka. Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
So there you go, Connor. Thanks for playing today. And hang on just a second. We'll have Nathan give you your prize.
I need New York. I need a New York replay. I don't New York.
Let's go back on the tapes and see that one. Man. But that was a good game. We got to it late. Thanks for hanging with us there, guys. As we learned a little bit more about the SEC today, which I think maybe that's where we want to go next. It seems I'm still kind of trying to run it down. We're waiting for Saban to get on radio to kind of finish this story, but it seems like he's just apologized, which kind of kills the vibe of the argument. I was hoping this heat would last a little bit longer.
The apology definitely probably was one that was needed. In his statement of that apology, he basically said he's not one to normally get specific and call one person out. He usually generalizes or stays within the confines of general statements, but he went in on Texas A&M. Sometimes, and then listen, Jimbo Fisher came back and said he's a narcissist. And then he threw it out there and was like, listen, dig into his stuff. Oh, you don't ever want that. You don't want the fans to come watching and come hunting after something's been called out there and thrown out there. But then on top of that, he threw Deion Sanders under the bus, leading Deion. Like, Deion is not one. Listen, I know him, man. You got to understand his kids were my stepkids for a while until we not too long ago got divorced. But so we're cool, and Deion doesn't take stuff lightly. You just go back and watch the film. You come at him, he's gonna throw back at you. You talk to him, he's gonna get an interception and he's gonna high step on you. And now the gauntlet's been thrown about Travis Hunter receiving 1 million stacks down at Jackson State, and Deion's like, oh, okay. I will address the lie Coach Saban told tomorrow. So, hey, listen, when Deion addresses something, he's going in. He ain't going to half do it. He ain't going to be no half true. He's going all the way in. And then it doesn't help that Travis Hunter throws back and says, he basically said, look, I got a meal in a tweet now. I got a meal, but my mom's still living in a 3-bedroom house with 5 kids. Laughing emoji. So, listen, there's a lot of shots fired being shot out there. It reminds me of like the old World War II. You remember how just the world wars in the ships, how they used to shoot across the bow and just to let you know, hey, we just need to target our aim. We'll sink you. You better make some adjustments to your direction you taking. And that's what it feels like right now. There's a lot of shots being shot across the bow. NIL is sparking a lot of fighting and some blows being thrown. We just need to put them in the ring and let them do like Frank Gore did and put somebody to sleep.
There you go. And it's been exciting, and I still expect there to be a lot of heat on that rivalry. Again, an apology can only do too much.
They play on a Friday, don't they, Bob?
Well, we play on a Friday. They play on Saturday. So Nebraska plays Rutgers on Friday, and then we play and then Alabama hosts A&M on the Saturday. So we get the day off. We can just enjoy that SEC matchup because sometimes I've said this before and I'll say it again. The Nebraska game, I love the Nebraska game. Every Nebraska game that's ever been on in my life outside of maybe one or two that I had to work somewhere else, I've been attentive. I've been on the TV. I've been next to the radio. But I also, as a college football fan at large, I kind of hope that Nebraska gets these TV windows where I can see the best games of the day. So I was kind of worried there right now. I don't, nothing against Nebraska Rutgers, but I don't want that taking up my Alabama A&M feud here.
I just want to see a finish him. Flawless victory. I don't care who it is.
We're not playing that today.
Look, I want to see that game so bad after what's going on right now. They're pinning comments all in the locker rooms right now, all in the quarterback, in the running back, wide receiver room, the linebacker room. Everybody's got a little tidbit that's going up in both teams right now. So listen.
Texas A&M, they're pinning it up with money too. No, no, they're not doing that.
They got stacks. They got stacks out there. Boy, I'll tell you, listen, Eastrick sometimes goes to sleep wishing mom would have just waited about 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Mom, if you and dad could have just held on about 10, 15, NIL would be real good right now for Stricky.
Yeah. We do mention it. You would be the perfect NIL, multi-sport athlete, local kid, especially for around Lincoln. It would have been amazing. But at the same time, we're glad that we got you in the era that you did, so you could help prevail Nebraska basketball. Though I suppose we could use you in any era, so I guess it would have worked either way. But in any case, as the NIL, it was basically at a 10. I mean, the arguments were at a 10, and then Saban apologizes, so maybe it's down to like a 9.5. Well, Jordan Addison commits to USC. Now it's back up to a 10. So we can all argue about NIL and tampering and all that more. It's been a long wait. It's obviously the Blitnikoff Award winner there at Pitt. There's been lots of talks about USC tampering in order to get Jordan Addison, which is basically just the idea that he's on Pitt's roster, he's not in the transfer portal, and maybe received a call or two from somebody with USC ties to them. Pat Narduzzi reached out to Lincoln Riley to give him a piece of his mind.
Give him his Jimbo Fisher. Just say it. Give him his Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, and they drew it out. But Jordan Addison did draw it out. He was catching passes with Bryce Young. He's taking trips to Texas. But today makes it official. What we thought all along, Jordan Addison going to USC along with Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley and that whole group there. Interesting because a 4-8 team last year that was given up on early in the season. What a turnaround. What a turnaround it is for USC, who's probably, you got to think with this, Caleb Williams, arguably, if he would have played the whole season, would have been one of the Heisman front runners. Jordan Addison there now, along with, a couple other high-profile players in the transfer portal USC has landed. Plus, they always have a stacked roster of at least recruits to begin with. You got to see the Trojans now maybe playing a huge factor this year. And I was hesitant to even say that with Caleb Williams, but, these are two of the stars of college football here.
Well, listen, you understand why he drug it out, though. There was just so much talk, so much rumor. The rumor mill was running all in the papers and national media, all on ESPNs and different places like that. We touched it here even on the block, but at the end of the day, that was a smart move on his behalf because yes, it's a conversation piece. Yes, there's probably some mad faces, some pouting emojis and all kinds of stuff going out on tweets right now. But at the end of the day, I think he did a good job of kind of drowning out the noise by just taking his time on this specific issue and allowing it to just kind of, fade away into the atmosphere of commentary out there on social media platforms and in any commentaries that people are doing on YouTube or whatever the case may be. But kudos. I mean, listen, shout out to USC. Go get it, baby. I mean, look, I ain't mad at Lincoln Riley, man. Get whoever, however, and however many you want to get out there. Even go get Jimbo Fisher's 5 stars that he just paid for. Go get them. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, listen, that's allegedly. I don't know. I'm just talking crazy right now. I'm not saying he did or he didn't. But you know, he basically states the fact that there's nothing that he's done illegal. There's nothing that he's did that none of the kids did that was against any of the rules. But at the end of the day, go look at Nick Saban and his other coaches and what kind of rules they broke. Oh my gosh, I just think that's one of them right hooks that you didn't see coming. And you hope the NCAA right now with the turnover and the turmoil that they got going on didn't hear that comment. Let me just say that. But they might have heard it because they listening to the block.
Yeah, but how much extra people does the NCAA have lying around? Because it seems like they've got thousands of things to do and they're very slow moving about it. But I have to give them credit for the work that they did yesterday, which was a pretty quick turnaround, allowing the Pac-12 to eliminate their divisions and still have a champion with the best 2 win percentages. We'll talk a little bit about that later and what the Big Ten should do in response to that. But also the 25 scholarship limit that they took away. So the NCAA not just twiddling their thumbs, but they've got a lot to do. And just Jordan Addison is even more interesting. Is this time period we're calling it the Wild Wild West, where there's not too many guardrails on all this going on, and I think that eventually things will kind of play out and we'll get the bylaws and different things kind of organized a little bit better than it is now. But I personally, outside of the tampering thing, which again is allegedly, I don't know if it went on, I give kudos to USC. I give kudos to Miami. I give kudos to Texas. I give kudos to Nebraska, who have organized and prepared for the day that NIL is there. It might be a short window, so you got to strike when the iron's hot. And certainly USC probably is going to come away the winner in all this. Again, Jordan Addison, the Blitnikoff Award winner, chooses the Trojans. He brings 100 receptions, 1,593 yards, and 17 touchdowns from last year with him. And it's a pretty stacked receiving squad. So yes, he's going to be able to kind of fling it around.
We've talked about it, that even myself, I wasn't a guy like him, a Blitnikoff winner or nothing of that nature, but even myself, when you just sit down, if you just step outside of yourself and looking at just the whole landscape of NIL and tampering and just all of these things that are being thrown out there that are basically put in the forefront of the reality of the whole situation. As a young man who just won the Blitnikoff, your quarterback, Kenny Pickett, gets drafted in the first round. He's gone. You've been there in the trenches. You've been there in the practices. You've been there for the spring games. You've been there for all this time. You know who number 2 is. You know who he is, or no, not a she. But you know who he is, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, those are the things that someone of that nature and that caliber is actually thinking about. And it's the same thing. Look, it doesn't matter what level it's on. It's the same decision I made when I decided not to play football my senior year in high school, which made my coach absolutely mad. He was every bit as mad as the Pittsburgh coach that my high school coach was. But at the end of the day, I played baseball. I made a decision to do that because I looked at the whole prospect of the landscape. And that was, who's going to be throwing the ball to me? Is it going to enhance my opportunity to be drafted high in the first round? Can they get the passes to me? Who else is beside me that's catching passes? So now I can go out to USC. Yes, I'm that dude, but I've got other dudes that's with me, and a Caleb, Williams that's tossing that thing to me, who was doing a wonderful job at Oklahoma before he left. So that's something to consider. Plus $3 million in a couple houses and maybe a Lambo. Oh, that's good too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what's interesting is, because that money was thrown out there. And I think that's kind of what got Nick Saban in trouble, though, and what he was speaking is just basically what are the rumors that have been reported. And so he's just kind of throwing out what Texas A&M did, the numbers that are thrown at the Miami kids, and especially the Dion one. Like that was so like he's.
I'm just glad he didn't mention O'Shawn Mathis.
Right, he didn't mention O'Shawn Mathis, which was good, but there's no big reported number on that. But that's my point is,
because we're the cleanest program in the nation, Bob. Doggone it, we're the cleanest program in the nation. We don't have any problems.
We like to think so, but in any case, I don't know how much of that stuff is verified. Certainly, this $3 million isn't. It just kind of got thrown out there, and then everybody's just thinking, okay, he's definitely making $3 million at USC. I'm not naive. I think that there's certainly probably a good stack of money for him.
Johnny Manziel
I don't know
going
if it's
on.
$3 million. That's a lot of money.
There's some Johnny Manziel going on, but we just don't know what that is. We just know there's some Johnny Manziel going on. If you're on the streamline, you know what I'm doing right now. You understand what I'm saying, Johnny Manziel.
But again, that's taking advantage of the opportunity. Whether he was coaxed into it or not is where you kind of get in trouble again there. But if I'm a Biletnikoff, like you mentioned with him, he's a Biletnikoff Award winner. He won the ACC. His quarterback's off to the pros. His offensive coordinator's off to a better job because it pays more money, or and because it's Nebraska and it's a great pro. But altogether, what more is there to do at Pitt if you're Jordan Addison? You've done it all.
Facts.
So
Facts.
and you're potential top 25 pick in the draft. Some places have him at 21. Is he going to be able to do enough more at Pitt to raise his profile? Or if he goes to USC and is playing on national TV and has all this talent around him, a Caleb Williams that you could see going into the NFL, it just seems like a good move for him as well.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just got to step outside of the rumor mill and all the noise, the white noise. You know how the TV at night, in the old school days when it just used to just be making all that noise. And then, it just would irritate you that you would just either try to evade it, get away from it, or you would turn it off, right? But if you just step outside the white noise and just really assess the whole and the totality of the situation, you can understand why there's something like this can happen. Why it's not in Oregon, why it's even not a Texas, why it's not, in Nebraska. You don't know if Scott Frost is going to be there. I'm probably going to be out. I still don't know. Now, you can see different because you look at the Texas situation and a young man. Now, just think if there was a connection there, if this kid played with his, friend in high school and or they played together for a year and he goes over there. But Caleb Williams has a track record. Lincoln Riley has a track record of putting NFL quarterbacks at the top tier of picking in the draft. Who would you want throwing the ball to you? That type of who's basically going to say, yeah, kid, we're getting you the rock. Oh yeah, please believe we're gonna touch you with the rock. I mean, it's simple. It's just so simple, man.
Yeah. And the other part of it too is I love USC being the villain. I'm glad that it really just kind of sets up Miami, Texas, USC are all taking advantage of this, all starting to become the villain of college football once again. That's where college football is at its best, when you have the teams that you hate, and specifically when it's those teams. To be honest with you, there's a few others you can throw in there, but that's kind of, I think that's where college football is at its best, when you hate some teams, and hopefully it sounds weird to say I hope that some of them have some success, but again, like Texas, I hate Texas. There's nothing that's going to convince me otherwise, but it's not as fun to cheer against a 5-7 team, to lose their next game as it is Texas playing with something on the line. So I think college football will be more fun with USC prominent again. We'll take a quick break here on the block. When we come back, let's hit the hardwood, talk about some NBA action from last night. Also, game 2 coming up tonight. And even a player might miss the game because he's having a birth of a baby. There's people that have a problem with that. We'll talk about that next, coming up here on the block.
Maximize your savings with Bryant. Bryant offers efficient heating and cooling system options to help you save on your monthly utility bill. If you act now, their team will secure all available rebates to maximize your savings. Hurry, these rebates are for a limited time only. Call Bryant. Ask for a free estimate to save and improve your comfort. 467-1111. Online at BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation. But finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it. A research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tune in every Monday morning throughout the summer at 6:45 a.m. for golf course reviews on the Nebraska Golf Passport Early Break Golf Tour with Jake Sorensen and Steve Sipple on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As we approach Memorial Day, Koppel Insurance Agency takes this time to salute our soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, veterans, and those who have given their lives. These amazing men and women put their lives on the line for our freedoms. Let's make sure they know how much we appreciate them. This message has been brought to you by Koppel Insurance Agency. If you're looking for insurance, call 402-475-3213. They are honest and fair. For a solid insurance program, Koppel Insurance Agency. They're honoring our heroes Memorial Day and every day.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Hey, it's Nelson. We all know life gets a little hectic. You're just looking for that right amount of balance for stress relief with your busy lifestyle while trying to not break the bank. That's why you got to stop by the newest Caterpillar Vapes location right here in Lincoln, 2601 North 11th Street. The Caterpillar team is made up of people just like you, wanting the best product at the best price. They can walk you through the largest selection in town, answer any questions, and find you that perfect balance. First-time customers get 50% off their entire purchase. Stop in and see for yourself. For more, find them on Facebook or online at CaterpillarVapes.com.
Spring has arrived. Dust off your clubs and play the city. Lincoln City Golf Courses offer 5 different places to play, including Holmes, Pioneers, Highlands, Mahoney, and the Par 3 Jim Ager course. Plus, one membership gets you access to all 5 courses, or ask about a discount card that gets you 15% off all rounds. There's also adult classes with lessons for every level with Lincoln City Golf Academy. Learn more about membership and classes today at lincolncitygolf.org.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back on the block. Hitting the hardwood with Strick and Bach on the block on 93.7 The Ticket, 4 to 6 every day, right here on this spot. Some good games, but listen, it is what it is. The home teams took care of business the way that they're supposed to. There was no craziness as far as upsets are concerned. It's just the normality of what the NBA can be and sometimes is, where the home team in a conference championship type of situation gets the deal done. And so a lot of people are kind of up in arms or whatever by the means of which the game was played or how they were blown out or if they were beat badly. But the one we're going to talk about was last night's game against the Mavs and the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors at home, they have the home court advantage, and they took care of business. One of the questions that we had, though, Bach, is that how were the Warriors going to contain Luka Doncic, who has been averaging over 30 points a game in the series, previous series that have been played, how he was going to handle that, or what they were going to do to handle that. And some of the things that we talked about on the block was who was going to be that helpmate for the Mavs. We also understood that Luka was not going to be able to do it by himself. So we see that Dinwiddie didn't have the type of game that he had in Phoenix. We see that Jalen Brunson was a little, a little Six Flag-ish as far as riding on the roller coasters and up and down a little bit, and in and out. But we saw that, the compilation of the team that Golden State has put together, they did what they were supposed to. So you had Wiggins that played a tremendous game, both offensively and defensively. You saw the strategy that we talked about, I talked about, on how they were going to basically load out on Luka Doncic, and they were going to throw a lot of different looks at him. It wasn't going to be that they was going to be able to look. The key to this specific series is that who's going to win out? There's two contrasts of styles that are playing in this game, where you have Dallas that plays a very slow pace style, run an opportunity, but they're going to set it up, and they're very ISO dominated in certain instances. But at the end of the day, they shoot the ball well out of those ISO situations, but they loaded very well to Doncic, and they were able to take advantage of that. We also saw that Steph struggled early, but then got going second half. But they had other guys that didn't happen for Dallas box step up, and that was like Otto Porter. So you had solid games out of Kevon Looney. You had a solid game out of Wiggins. And Wiggins, who is an all-star, don't get it twisted out here. Don't get it mixed up. He was an all-star out of Minnesota. So this ain't just like a run-of-the-mill type of guy, or a guy that's just out there, coming alive and emerging in a playoff situation, or basically having a Keith Van Horn or a guy who just comes out of the woodworks type of series and just shows up. No, he's an all-star. He's their fourth option. And so that's that, when you really just break it down, they're solid. So Bach, they've done this before. This isn't nothing new to them. They did it to the two-time reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic, in Denver in the first round. They also, before Ja Morant's injury, did a good job in most of that series handling that and what he was. And now they're finding Luka Doncic next on their list. And, they got it done in the first game, but can they continue?
Yeah, it's the old strength of numbers from Golden State, and they do have that at a high level. Otto Porter even has played, kind of that third role in Washington, and now is like the fifth guy with Golden State. And I don't think that Golden State gets enough credit. Their higher ups, the organization, they kind of just figure, well, they put together that team, and then they got Kevin Durant. But remember, they drafted Clay, Steph, and especially Draymond in the second round, and then they've had to do their maneuvering. When Kevin Durant came in, they had to get rid of a lot of their key players as far as the numbers go, the bench players, the other guys around those big three. And, when Durant left, it didn't leave him in the best spot. Then, of course, they've had the injuries. They're able to get Wiseman, who is hurt now, so not everything has gone perfectly. But remember, they tried D'Angelo Russell. They always were trying out different things. And so Wiggins has really played a key part. And then, of course, drafting Jordan Poole. He was like the fourth best player on his Michigan team, but they recognize that guy's got a lot of upside. It's a great value where they picked him at. And it's not by accident that they're drafting guys that are turning into pretty good players. So I think we need to say that. The other thing is, it's Golden State. If you don't shoot well from beyond the arc, and the Mavericks didn't. They were like 11 of 48, like 22%. That's highly, you're not going to win. You're not going to outshoot the Warriors, if you're not hitting your threes, you're just not going to outscore them. So I think that's sometimes we overcomplicate things. And you're right. Part of it's the defensive strategy and stuff like that. But they had like 10 open threes they just didn't knock down. Yeah. You're going to have to knock down 7 or 8 of those to keep these games close. And I think that ultimately they will. We've seen the Warriors in this situation. We've seen the Mavs in this situation. They've lost game 1 and game 2 of their previous series, and then they get things going in Dallas. So it's no time to necessarily get too scared if you're a Dallas fan. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and maybe a correlation there, obviously Boston had their own injury problems, but both teams that played game 7s, even though they blew out their opponent, it wasn't taxing on their minds, struggled in game 1s. Do you think that had anything to do with it?
So normally the case is usually in these specific instances, there were guys kind of waiting. They got a little extra days of rest or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And some of them that were coming off those game 7s, you got to turn around in 2 days and still make it happen. So if there's any lingering injuries, if there's any, kind of knickknacks, paddywhacks, giving dogs a bone, things going on with your body, you've got a quick turnaround, so you're not able to make those adjustments. I mean, he's just looking at the Celtics situation. Obviously, Tatum didn't play the way that he would expect it to play. Jaylen Brown was up and down. He didn't really get going to the second half in that series, in that game. You don't have Marcus Smart, who is one of your better defensive players, and then Jimmy Butler goes nuts the way he does, and then so you're kind of wondering about that missing link, and then Al Horford is in protocols. So even though I think the Celtics, in their instance, they could still be feeling good about themselves. You're on the road. Miami did. Your goal as a road team coming into a playoff is to try to get that one. You don't care. The first game, listen, it's a long series. This is where the staffs earn their money. This is when, after the game, they're breaking down film, looking at the details, finding out what wrinkles they threw at them. In this instance, we're talking about Mavericks and Warriors. I mean, they threw boxing ones at Doncic. They threw zones at him. And all of these different things are probably wrinkles that can get you just enough in a game to throw a team off or different things. And now Doncic can go back and then take a look at kind of what he did when he entered the paint or when he was making moves on his ISOs, who was kind of dropping, where they were coming from, different things like that. Because at the end of the day, Golden State might throw another few wrinkles out there because it's always something that you're playing these type of games that you want to throw these little different wrinkles out just so that the adjustments that are going to be made are not totally, overthrown. And so I think you're going to probably see a few more wrinkles out of Golden State, but then you're going to see some adjustments made. This is where the staffs make their money. And I think it's both ways. Hopefully, I think Celtics feel they'll get Marcus Smart back, which then they'll be able to throw at Jimmy Butler, probably some. There was a lot of washing out. Tyler Hero did a wonderful job coming off the bench. They're a deep team. That's what you expect out of Miami. They're deep. Yeah. So with that depth, Celtics not having the depth that they normally have still can say we won because, we were pretty much in this game. We were in this game. We could have won. Do you expect Jimmy Butler to have those type of games? He's capable. But do you expect him to have those? Because they're going to make adjustments on him as well. So this is why it's interesting to watch these playoffs unfold, because if you got good coaching staff, Spoelstra's a great coach. Ide is a good coach. Dolfo, he's a good coach. There are good coaches out there right now. Jason Kidd, he has great staff around him. So wherever Jason's strengths lack, he's surrounded himself with the right type of people. They're going to make the adjustments. We'll see what they do going forward, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, they expect Marcus Smart back tonight. They also expect Horford back tonight, which is kind of a quick turnaround from what we originally thought. The only other thing that's kind of going on with the rotation now is Derek White is supposed to have a baby, and I think they already did have a baby. But going into tonight, it was like Derek White's out. Because his wife is expecting. And it's kind of funny to see fans react to that at times. It's happened in Boston a few years ago with Gordon Hayward, and people, because the Hayward experience didn't go well in Boston altogether, he had injuries and stuff like that kind of played into that, though. People don't appreciate that Can you ever get mad at anybody for being at their kid's childbirth taking work off?
Not at all. I mean, you do see people that have had, Chris Pauls and other people who have had deaths in families and stuff like that, where they use that as an inspiration to go out and then they've ended up, some of them ended up playing very well. I think there's been some conversation out there. This is alleged. There's rumor mills out there that the Phoenix Suns situation, the debacle, the falling off the that you know what I'm talking about, Bob.
There he is.
The Suns. They say Kylie Jenner kind of gave Devin Booker the exit strategy, and
right before Game 7.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's alleged. You heard it on the block, but it's out there. There's some conversation, speculation, and some stuff that's saying that he got the boot. I mean, me personally, peace. Okay, I keep stepping, but I'm gonna step into this win, and then I'm gonna step into the next honey that that's out there. I mean, that's just freaky. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, there's no other Kendall Jenner.
Kylie Jenner's a billionaire, so I mean,
big deal.
Maybe that hit a little different. You know what I'm saying? She make a little bit more than you do.
But she can't construct a full team unless she keeps dating. She's got 6 former NBA players, but she's got to keep rolling.
She's got a team.
She's got a whole team.
Starting lineup and a 6-man. She got a starting lineup and a Tyra Hero out there. But but listen, there's those things happen. But I can't be mad. I can't be mad at the young fella, man. White, take care of your family, man. And, the game will be there. It ain't going nowhere. You still got 7-game series, you know what I'm saying? So 1 game, 1.5, 2 games, go take care of your family.
And not to say anything against Derek White. He's a pretty darn good player with the Spurs. I don't think he's quite fit in with the Celtics as much as they wanted him to. It feels like they're still kind of forcing it. I'm personally, I like to see Pritchard get those minutes a little bit more.
Pritchard's been stepping up though.
Offensively.
I'm not fighting Pritchard. I like what I see out of the young fella.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting kind of tonight. We'll see that game 2 between Boston and the Heat. It'll be a big one. So we'll look forward to talking about that tomorrow. Let's take a quick break here on the block, our last break on the block before we get into our final segment. The Big Ten is looking to get rid of divisions, or at least considering it, similar to what the Pac-12 is doing. And there's this one idea out there. We've heard the 3-5-5 format where you play 3, then you play 5 teams 1 year and 5 teams the next, and then you play everybody all that time. I saw Sean Callahan talking about a 3-5-1 format, so I want to talk about that and what that means. Coming up next year on the block.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is hosting their annual sprayer clinic at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds in Kearney, Nebraska, February 2nd and 3rd. Landmark Sprayer Clinic offers expansive equipment and technology training on different models of John Deere and Hagee sprayers. Learn about the newest technology, machine maintenance, spray tip selection, and more. We'll be offering free dicamba certification. Join us February 2nd and 3rd in Kearney. RSVP by calling your local Landmark location or at landmarkimp.com/events.
Spring has arrived. Dust off your clubs and play the city. Lincoln City Golf Courses offer 5 different places to play, including Homes, Pioneers, Highlands, Mahoney, and the par 3 Jim Ager course. Plus, 1 membership gets you access to all 5 courses, or ask about a discount card that gets you 15% off all rounds. There's also adult classes with lessons for every level with Lincoln City Golf Academy. Learn more about membership and classes today at lincolncitygolf.org.
Hello, I'm Charlie Stone, back with the latest news from Honda of Lincoln. Joining me now is the general manager, Andy Goodyear. Hey, Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, with spring right around the corner, how is your supply of new Hondas and pre-owned vehicles?
Really good, Charlie. As I've said before, when you drive by our lot, you don't see what you're looking for, just remember we have hundreds of new Hondas arriving soon, with Honda continuing to offer 0.9% APR financing to qualified buyers. Plus, we have over 125 pre-owned vehicles in stock and ready for immediate delivery.
That's great, Andy. Any more great news?
There is, Charlie. Honda just announced financing from 0.99% APR on certified pre-owned Hondas for qualified buyers.
So come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Maximize your savings with Bryant. Bryant offers efficient heating and cooling system options to help you save on your monthly utility bill. If you act now, their team will secure all available rebates to maximize your savings. Hurry, these rebates are for a limited time only. Call Bryant, ask for a free estimate to save and improve your comfort. 467-1111. Online at BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric always makes safety a top priority for our home and office. In under just 1 hour, their team installed the state-of-the-art air scrubber system directly into our existing HVAC ductwork. This technology purifies the air and reduces exposure to common bacteria and viruses, creating a safer breathing environment for my family. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln. It has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
We have 2 boys, so we needed more space. We lived in a townhouse, so we decided to build.
Casey Bowman and her husband Joe built their first home with us. This is Bob Benish of Aspen Builders. Working with the Bowmans was fantastic.
After the first meeting, we really liked them as people.
I was really skeptical about the whole building process, more so than Joe was. If there were problems or issues along the way, they called and explained everything. They just really helped ease my mind.
They were really good about giving us options as far as what fit in the budget, what didn't fit in the budget. They have a designer, Rachel.
She was amazing. She was very helpful in making sure that our house turned out good. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change the lot. I wouldn't change colors. I love everything about it. Everything. It's perfect for us.
Like the Bowmans, you too can make your dream home a reality. Call us at 423-6811 or online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street.
Back to On the Block with Strick and Bach on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up things here on a Thursday on the block. I wanted to get to this before we get to the end of the show. The most important thing to note from today, Jordan Addison finally made his decision, and he's off to USC. So if you haven't heard that, that's a story we've been tracking for quite some time. Also, more interesting stuff tonight. I mean, Husker baseball gets their final very pivotal series against Michigan State going here. Softball getting at it tomorrow. So we have Nate going out to Stillwater Oklahoma State to figure, to follow that along. So we'll have him live on site. So that'll be quite fun. But I did want to break this down because the NCAA passed a rule yesterday, I believe, and it didn't take long for the Pac-12 to jump on top of it, that you don't need divisions anymore to have a championship game with the more than 10 teams that the Big 12 got away with it. So it's all very kind of weird, convoluted type of paperwork there. But ultimately, they scrapped that. So the Pac-12 is going with the best 2 win percentages will play in the championship game. And that's it's the ACC strongly wants to kind of move away from the divisions, and it's seeming to make more sense with these ultra powerful conferences. The crossovers just aren't equal. You're not playing teams in your 4-year career away or home at times. So they're trying to make it a little bit more even across the board. And we've heard about different models. And I was interested when reading an article here by Sean Callahan of Husker Online. The Big Ten could, one interesting idea that they are tossing around is a 3-5-1 model where you play 3 protected games, 5 crossover games. So kind of like the 3-5-5 model we've talked about before. And then they have the final week of regular season feature flex scheduling. So kind of what they did in the COVID year, where Nebraska ended up playing the bottom of the division. I don't know how much you would want to avoid rematches here, or, kind of what would go along with that. But the idea more than anything with this flex scheduling is basically creating a semifinal for the Big Ten championship. Take the top 4 teams, have them play each other the final week. And then, so that would definitely take over the interest. You'd have to move rivalry week up a week, obviously, with Michigan and Ohio State and even Nebraska and Iowa. So it might kind of change how you do your Black Fridays. So that might be something to look out for there. But it is, it's an interesting idea. I don't know if it's the best idea as far as trying to get somebody to the college football playoff, which is what all these moves are being made for, because then you're making the schedule even more difficult, say for an undefeated Ohio State team down the stretch. But if it's an extended playoff, then it makes a little more sense, right? Because then you're just helping bolster your schedule, and by then a loss won't hurt you too much. But what do you?
That is the discussion.
Yeah.
That is the discussion. I mean, they're talking about a potential extension of the playoffs and what that would look like. I mean, it's still kind of up in the air. So we're not. I mean, we don't have anything that's sure as to how it would go down. But at the end of the day, I think it'll spark some interest in the conferences. But I'm really interested. I mean, I think the way they're trying to set it up, it sounds like, is that teams rank from 5 through 12. They'll each play each other at a home stadium of the higher ranked team, and then that would be the proposed first round. It would look like this: the number 1 seed would have a bye, 2, 3, and 4 all have byes. 12 will play the 5th seed, 11 play 6, 10, 7, 9, 8, and then you would have your quarterfinals, semifinals that would be moved into the existing bowl game system with 2 remaining games, which be the national playoff and championship. That will be at neutral sites. So that's kind of what they're putting out there right now. I don't see a problem with it, but like you're saying, it could just raise the interest of the Big Ten. I think hopefully you would just allow the strength of those situations to bolster you in your seeding that will put you in those top 4 seeds. But we'll see, man. I mean, we don't know. It's still kind of up in the air. I mean, I still wonder what's going on with Notre Dame and BYU and they need to throw Notre Dame in a Big Ten pod. That's what I think.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to see them join a Big Ten pod. For what it's worth, the college football changing by the day and will certainly look completely different 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So I know we don't like a lot of us don't like change, but just buckle up and enjoy the ride, because it's happened one way or the other. And it's happening pretty quickly day by day here as we go through it. I don't know what the Big Ten is going to look like, but they're certainly running through that in their meetings. That'll wrap it up for On the Block today. I'd like to thank you guys for listening. Thanks to Kevin Meyer for dropping by for Thirsty Thursday. It was an exciting day. Lots of fun SEC trash talk. Got hitting the hardwood in, and certainly finishing off there with some Big Ten thoughts. Always fun. We'll join you, or we'll be with you tomorrow, Friday, On the Block. But coming up next is Ticket Weeknights. Have a good evening.
In every office, there's 2 types of people.